Don't worry.
Are you can I leave my laptop here for like 10 minutes? I'm going to start with why this case session. Then second one. We can get a little bit. We can get ready to ultraviolet. CDP section of water. Calcistonia. Subsubstance. Anapron. We can get we can complete. Ultraviolet. My favorite. Anticoagulants. 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 Chocolate, fibers, right? Not the always, not a few, but not the always, if the power is together, if they pull up, if they're not, if they sure. This is working out. I hate to know what the one is, but just with the if it's not there, if you just go to them, that's the same, and you can't do it. But the little high, so I can see them. What if we look at my mouth, Then we will start with the election of vice president of internal affairs. I would normally say individually, but they're running back. I always begin with joining us in the front. Thank you for the day for the video participated by our campus and their proposers will have their 1 minute speeches. Or they will have their 1 minute speeches, or will have their questions, and then they will have their minutes of public speeches. When we start with eligible with the English, and I will leave timer for time to speech. 10 seconds. Now, the candidates. You are these 49 observers and groups. I thank you for today, not as a candidate, but as someone who has lived the harmony of this association. My role as your events coordinator, family and EPSA is not just about projects delivered, but the people who make them happen. As your firsthand on a single event can shape a student's future career and a personal life. But I've also learned that for that impact to happen, our team needs to be internally aligned. As I transition from managing events to seeking the role as president for internal affairs, my vision is clear. I want to manage logistics in areas, but I will foster empowerment and connection. For our leadership secretaries, you are the bridge to our members. You want to be your primary support, not just in meetings, but just by creating informal, flexible spaces where you feel truly connected to EPSA and also to each other. Recognize that every leadership secretary and member association coming from a different background with unique challenges. That's why I want to focus on a more personalized support system where I can adapt my guidance to specific needs and place of each one. I want to be a good partner where communication isn't just a task, but a bridge, ensuring that every coordinator and chairperson feels they have the guidance and the speech and the strength to reach their full potential. Having served on the team, I understand the way that they work. We do behind the scenes. In order for us to succeed in our events and projects, we need a team that is cohesive, motivated, and united. I am committed to being the support system that our future events, our new coordinator, and chairpersons need and also the entire team throughout the years, using my experience to satisfy challenges and colleagues. Using a very obvious has the right things were replaced with the humble, but which my experience and my dedication to ensure that this operation is stronger than ever. I ready to serve, we're here to be outside. Thank you, Anna. And I'll ask the proposer of to do their opening speech, and then you will have 1 minute to do yours. Portugal. Just like it, I'm trying to think of radio.
Fiandomela over for the position of EPIA. And there's always someone that I remember very well. And I can say with full confidence their dedication, work ethic, passion is really remarkable. During her time as a men's coordinator, she demonstrated outstanding ability, short minds, and deliver impactful initiatives, always with a level of commitment that went above and beyond expectation. What makes them stand out even more is their deep understanding of the market. Having been directly involved, she not only knows how work has been done and how provision and capability can impact future growth. I strongly believe she is the best candidate to build upon the strong foundation that is already established. Beyond her skill, Anna is genuinely supportive, driven, and an inspiring person to work with. I encourage you all to place your friend and vote in as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will ask the secretary, Slovenia, to be there. Every speech you have 1 minute. Inhaltlichen Slovenia. Dear LSs, dear EPSA team, dear OTs. During her mandate as events coordinator, Anna Joao worked closely with people across EPSA, from LSs to reception committees and executive board, which allowed her to gain valuable insight into how different parts of EPSA collaborate and connect. One of the things I noticed about Anna is how approachable and warm she is. But I don't have to tell you this, as you can notice it immediately. And I believe this is one of the most important qualities VP of Internal Affairs should have. Her plans for the mandate are practical and based on feedback from LSs. She's motivated to improve how LSs are supported and understands that even small adjustments can significantly increase engagement, especially among newer and less active LSs. She is also aware of the important role LSs play as the crucial link through which EFSA reaches more pharmacy students across Europe. Anna Joao understands the inner workings of the internal affairs department, both from an operational and a personal perspective, which gives her a strong foundation for this role. This is why Bishop Salvini supports her candidacy. Thank you. Thank you. Then I will ask Honorable to deliver opening speech. You will have 3 minutes. Dear RDs, ex-team, and observers. My name is Anna and I'm currently serving as the Advocacy Platform Coordinator and a previous License Secretary for the United Kingdom. Having now attended 7 EPSA events over the past 2 mandates, I have worked within EPSA at multiple levels, from representing a member association to coordinating a platform that connects students across Europe, which is you. And through this, I didn't just engage with EPSA, I worked on how it functions internally. Because when you coordinate the advocacy platform, you're not only delivering projects, you're managing people, communication structure, and engagement across countries, timelines, and different levels of availability and experience. For example, during this mandate, I have delivered onboarding trainings and structured welcome processes, rebuilt and verified contact systems to ensure accurate communication with more than 50 APRs for a host mostly LSs, organize and maintain meetings with stable engagement, coordinated large-stage projects and workshops like an AG with over 30 participants. And through this work, I identified a key pattern. EPSA does not lack motivation or activity. It sometimes needs just a bit more structure, clarity, and sustainability. And this is exactly where internal affairs becomes critical. Because internal affairs is not just about organizing meetings or managing emails. It is about creating systems that allow people to engage effectively and consistently. My vision as Vice President of Internal Affairs focuses on 3 main priorities. First, structured and accessible communication. From experience, communication across multiple platforms can easily become scattered. I want to ensure that information is clear, centralized, and predictable, so that liaison secretaries and team members always know where to find what they need and how to stay engaged. Second, strong onboarding and continuous support. Onboarding and check-in should be structured but individualized and developmental. I have already worked on including this to training formats, tracking systems, and adaptation approaches depending on engagement levels. As VPIA, I will apply this to late secretaries to ensure smoother transitions, stronger beginnings, and consistent support throughout the mandate, whilst letting them thrive. Third, sustainability and team environment. Managing multiple projects at once show me how quickly the workload can become overwhelming without clear prioritization. Internal affairs plays a key role in ensuring that expectations are realistic and that VPA is approachable, and that the team environment remains positive and collaborative. Because at the end of the day, EPSA is built on people, and people perform best when systems support them, not stress them out. What differentiates me is not only my experience, but my fresh perspective. I have worked within various EPSA systems, identified their challenges, adapted strategies in real time, and delivered results while managing complexity. I am now applying to learn how internal affairs works. Sorry, I'm not applying to learn how internal affairs works. I'm applying because I already understand how it works and how it can work even better. Thank you. Thank you, Alan. And I will have the proposer begin the operation for the speech. You will have 1 minute. EVA to separation. Dear delegate, dear executive. As an ally and APR participant, it's been an honor to work with Anna these past few months, and I can confidently say she's the reliable executor that the VPI position needs. During her pandemic as an APP, she led effective APR trainings and meetings where APRs will heard, inspire, and support them in voicing out their concerns. She has also held the Federal Advocacy Action Group, through which we can activate the professional through. She doesn't just make promises, but puts focus on the outcomes as well. While she's result driven, steady, and organized, she's still empathetic and approachable leader who will push LSAs and integrity, just as she did with APRs. As a consistent and proactive API, I connect as a backbone of the city with fortified connections with member association. That's why she has successful. Thank you. Thank you. And then I will ask the secondary to do their secondary speech, but for Romania, you will have your speech. Congratulations for Romania, dear ODs, dear EPSA team. It is only by being in the same position as Ida that I got to observe Anna's real growth in romantic as APC. Asking for and offering quality feedback, engaging in peers and action, or addressing their inactivity in the most considerate ways, and experiencing the needs and wants of others firsthand. These are what make an invaluable role in focus. While sharp and thorough, she navigates difficult situations in a approachable way, exactly what anyone starting there from such a would be. Moreover, the team would greatly benefit from her helpfulness and guidance, given the care it gives in being there for her teammates, keeping up with everyone's work and celebrating their growth. In short, paying attention while making others feel seen. Her spirit and strengths are part of her identity, and that is exactly what EPSA BPIA should be. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. And now I will open the floor for discussion. You will each have 1 minute to reply and answer questions, and we will switch to organization. So, do we have any questions for the candidates? Did you? And so, can you see the last first? Yes. There's no information in hers. What lessons? Thank you for your information, first of all. What lessons those agreement and decision made by the executive? Like you will be the bridge between them and the analysis. How will you handle the situation and how will you make sure that the analysis still work without overriding the rest of your Excel team? Mm, well, monster first, you have 1 minute to answer your question. Yeah, candidate, thank you for your question. This is support a normal scenario, most likely will happen, and it has happened in most candidates. I think the approach is to talk to both sides to figure out why the different choose this, come together with them and find the justification for why we chose a certain division, and then also listen to the other, taking into considerations. It's also important to know what would be why they do something different, and always listening to what the other say. If it's not something personally, naturally, or it's But if it's something that I cannot change, I will make sure to explain to him as well as decision. Advice with students. So, first of all, I would probably try to prevent this from happening by ensuring that feedback is heard right from the beginning. And also, I think it's very important that as a BPA is also part of the executive to know to represent DLS's point of view and try and align their opinions from the get-go. So this is where feedback surveys can also help in the afterwards to see like what the LSs think, what should change. But when an exec decision is different than what LSs have thought, I think I would just try and explain how the executive has come to a decision and offer a clear and transparent like process of how it happened and see if there is anything that we can possibly change afterwards. So I think that is all I wanted to say for this question. Thank you. Sorry. We'll continue with the new advice evaluation. In our consideration, what aspects of your past examples would you say prepared the most for the PI position? And we have 1 minute to say. I'm a qualified candidate. What most prepared me and my experiences and the roles is my previous LS role and also the current ABC role. These experiences are very translatable, and the skills that I have acquired through this are transferable to the BPI role, in my opinion. So I think this is where I can thrive and sort of up a little bit more, but also ensuring that the member association opinion and best interest is kept in mind. You will have a answer the question. And as now BPI candidate, I would say that my experience as an expert is crucial for this role. I have worked together really closely every day with the operation of the BPIA. I've also worked really closely with Czech and also part of the department, and also with the alumni coordinator, also part of the department. I know the inner workings of this department. I know its workload. I know how events work, and hosting events is also a huge part of the BPA portfolio. And I work with many LSs, many of you here. I also know how essential you are. I know your worries. I really studied your reports. I know what you're worried about. I know what I want to implement to make information better and to make it more connected with EPSA. But I probably the events coordinator was an essential event for me to thank you. And then we will continue with the point by Mr. Romania. For the Romania, how would you go adapt the outreach strategy to successfully expand access representation? And now the candidate, thank you so much for your question. My first approach would probably be to reach out to less active associations, figure out why they're not active, why are they not coming to events, what is lacking in their association that's preventing them to be active in the EPSA world. Then, on the associations that are active, I will of course try to foster an even more active environment, I would say. I will try to motivate them, I will try to listen to their needs and worries, and make everyone feel that they're important, their opinion matters, and Anna EPA candidate. There is multiple approaches to this, of which all I would utilize. I have been in contact with the current BPIA and I have actually asked this because in the strategic plan, it is mentioned that we should reach to at least two member associations from the Council of Europe which are not active or do not have a representation. The first one is that we can use the neighboring countries or the regions to see if they are reachable through those associations. Because it's not always useful to just have passive communication and reach out personally because sometimes they cannot answer or they're just not very aware of what we do. There is also an option for them to give a stepwise approach, and this is what I also did with APRs, is that if they don't have an LS or they're just inactive, I would slowly introduce them to what we do by like joining our meetings or seeing what projects we do as well. Okay. Thank you. Do we have any questions from Portugal?
Portugal, the VPI oversees the events coordinating and the internal balance of the team. We have seen in recent reports that the high workloads during the annual congress often leads to the governance projects. How exactly do we identify these breaking points during a team member during an event? And what's your specific strategy to ensure that the association just doesn't stop because there's a big event happening? Thank you.
Yeah. VPI candidate. The way that I would approach this is that when the events are happening, as you said, the other parts of the department, like the alumni coordinator, would, well, they are already kind of independent in itself, but also alumni coordinator can be there for events when the alumni weekend happens. And for the events coordinator, who would be there and support them because they can also be overstretched with different things like raffles, merch as well to help me out, tasks allocations. So I think this is where I would be there if the help is needed and where is needed and try to target on what are the most prioritized and right now, like the possible problems or things that need acted on right now. So I would see what is like one by one what needs to be done, but also generally be there when help is needed, not just for my department, but for the whole of the EPSA team and the RCs. And thank you. Anna, do you have one to answer your question? And Jean, if you are candidate, thank you for your question. This is such an important point. Well, I've been events coordinator, so I know how the work gets closer to the event. On me, on the PIA, and on the vice president of education, to ensure that the association doesn't just stop because there's an event coming up. I think that organizational skills is a must. Even if we have a big event and we are super busy during 2 weeks, if we plan everything we want to do, we have maybe a spreadsheet for organization. It will be easier when the workload will away the major workload guys. I also think it would be important to implement inside the team some team members that don't have a workload in the moment to volunteer to help. Just as why as events coordinator really helps in student reception, uh, logistics, and I'm not in my portfolio. And the team task allocation is not enough. As I have referred to this event, and we need more support during this. Thank you. Then we have a 25 to Slovenia.
Now, in Slovenia, as you may be aware, the handover of new LSs may vary in quality, and this can then influence their confidence to speak or share their labor association's opinion at different points during the GA or the online meetings. What are your ideas to solve or prevent this relatively common problem the LSs can face? Thank you.
You have one minute to answer the question. And Jean, if you thank you so much for your question. I actually had an EOLS training to get to be in your groups and know what I'm talking about. My first approach was to would be to conduct the EOLS to gather knowledge of the LS rule and EPSA, because sometimes there's no previous LS, sometimes they are not very smoothly as the LS would want. So that would be my first approach, and then I wouldn't have just one slide for every new LS training. I would have an adapted presentation for each LS depending on the knowledge of EPSA, on their confidence, on the association's knowledge of EPSA also. And I think the approach here would be to be adaptable to them and to understand that some LSs might have needs different than the others. Thank you. Can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the question?
In relation to Slovenia, as you may be aware, the handover of new LSs may vary in quality, and this can then influence their confidence to speak or share their member association's opinion on different points during the GA or the online LS meeting. What are your ideas to solve or prevent this relatively common problem new LSs can face?
I'm not being very confident. As I have been an LS myself and had LS training and have done handover myself for my role as well and having a handover, I think it's very crucial to involve both the previous LS and the current LS that is stepping in. A very good idea is to sort of maybe possibly join the GA that is when they've been elected, or if you know that the next LS is possible to have them join the events in person. And I think with the LS trainings as well, this is actually like where you can catch people. But the thing is that you can have them try and move on. If you provide them information and equip them with enough data that they can then later do and get involved, but also not be too pushy. So it's kind of like a fine balance between them. Thank you. Then we have the point by education Germany.
Thank you, PhD. I would like to ask, in your opinion, what would be a well-organized essay at the upcoming courses?
Repeat the question.
What would a well-organized essay look like for you for the upcoming autumn assembly?
Okay, so Anna BPA. I have had an LS day in 2024 area GA was when I started my EPSA journey. So that was actually a crucial point for me. And I think this is where we can really connect the LSs. What helped is to try and get as many LSs as possible in person and even like have them join the team as well. So for instance, we were staying at the same accommodation as the team a bit before for the LS day. I think that really helped. And then also having the LS day very interactive, giving a choice for people to already try like speaking and see personally as well, like individually reaching out to people and just checking in if they're doing okay, if they have any questions. Live events is really where we can interact with LSs, and that is a very good point on how to get them motivated and engaged and try and keep that consistency. Thank you. Thank you. And now, Vivian candidate, thank you so much for your question. An ideal LS day for me would be to see all the EPSA team and the LS responding. The LSs are not equipped to answer any questions. And most importantly, besides the activities and all the games we organize, like the LS that play directly in Salamanca, which is really fun. Besides that, I think it would be really important to make sure that they are. So they let them comfortable to talk to each other, to talk to the team. So not just a fun day, but as I interpret the outcome in terms of electric being able to contact the team and be confident, comfortable, and nervous. Thank you. The planning for finance in Syria. So Serbia, first of all, thank you both for your applications. We wanted to ask you to do a pitch and pretend that we are maybe a member association who wants to join EPSA or the MLS who has to be integrated in the team, and please present EPSA in 1 minute. You can take your time to. Okay. You will have 4 minutes in situation. And you know, maybe I say, hello there. Thank you very much. Brilliant Municipal Students Association. We represent more than 100,000 students. With knowledge and students come together. We have four main events. It's really important for you to network with partners, stakeholders, and also to get to know students from the association. The EPSA team has a really complex structure, but I will explain to you later. Feel free to have any questions if you want to join next. We can start with one. Okay, schedule. So one have to say that our is holidays delivery workshops and trainings before, but depending on our dates. So now that's how member association that I'm reaching out to. Hi, why you want to know more about EPSA, and that is really exciting because we are very passionate about student development and professional development, as well as education and ability to join advocacy policy projects and many other projects that we have. Depending on your interest, maybe what you have done previously in your association or just personal or whatever you want to do in the future. This is for you. We can find an activity or a project depending also on your availability and accessibility and your understanding right now. So we can start with getting you in the WhatsApp groups or all the other groups, the email, and we will send you the welcome package and do the training. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can put my items on.
Also, Howard, thank you both for your applications. The alumni performance faces challenges in these women. How do you plan on supporting the alumni later in this piece?
Can we repeat the question? I'm sorry.
The alumni performance faces challenges in these women. How do you plan on supporting the alumni later in this piece?
Rural API template. I am aware of this issue. It has also been brought up by me personally speaking with some of the alumni that I already have connections with, and the current alumni coordinator, which was also announced at my time. So I think speaking with the current alumni coordinator on what the current issues are and having more activities and more just generally projects that we can offer to alumni and try to get them more involved. The EPSA open house is a very good point that alumni can join. So maybe see if we can get more of those. Or how to make them better quality and a bit more accessible because a lot of alumni are also working right now and they are in the pharmacy, so they don't have a lot of time, which is completely understandable. But try and see how we can get them involved even by like little things, maybe even similar things like budget system, so we can see how we can operate that. And Jean, maybe a candidate came to your question. This is a point that has been raised in every department meeting with the alumni coordinator. I am aware of this issue, and I think the best approach would be to maybe survey alumni and, of course, take into consideration that they are the most, or one of the most important parts of our association. They have the knowledge and the experience to assure that this association will continue evolving process. So I will survey them, figure out where we are reflecting, where they need more support, do they feel heard, do they feel like their opinion really matters because it does. So I think it's important to make them realize that their opinion is really important for us. And of course, try to involve more, maybe try to promote more the time weekend, for example, and those initiatives. That would be my approach. Thank you. Then we have another going to the Slovenia.
England, Nations of Slovenia. So when preparing for your candidacy, did you identify any gaps in your knowledge or skills of the internal affairs department? If you did, how did you address it? Thank you.
And now, Kennedy, thank you for the question. Of course, that since I am in the department, it's easier for me to see where there's a support plan. My VP was, Alicia was really nice to me. I have no complaints with her, but the truth is that this department takes on a huge workload, especially events coordinator and chairpersons when an event is approaching. So I would also try to implement maybe more catch meetings between chairperson, events coordinator, and VPIA because in moments of high pressure, some messages can get lost in translation, and I think it's important to have that approach. And also regarding the member associations and the others that feel disconnected, I think it's good to also try to connect them more to the department and not just to the VPIA. Okay, candidate. I'd say a little bit of a story. So, what happened to last, during the video reception, which was 2025, I actually had Lina, which was my first buddy, and this is already when I was very interested in the BPI role, but based on her advice, having a role as a coordinator on the team itself, being a team member, is what really showed me how the EPSA team works. Even though I haven't been in the IA department myself, I have collaborated with them, and especially with Capricia, the current VPA, whenever I needed like contact with the LS or the member association because of managing the APR. So that's been really helpful. But yeah, I think I've really been kind of preparing myself for this role a bit. So hopefully there won't be much of a gap. Thank you. Do we have any other questions? CCPSA, Jacob. Regarding CCPSA, so first of all, thank you both for your applications, in which both of you stated that you want to continue improving the LS Buddy project. So I was wondering whether you have already some specific ideas in mind. Thank you. Um, maybe
Thank you for this question. I have been in the budget project myself, and both XMLS, but also the internal budget project. What I've noticed is not really the lack of interest, but maybe just lack of activity. So trying to find activities that are that don't take too much time but are interesting and members actually want to do them. So the one that really worked this year, I would say, is the postcard exchange. I really like it one. I also had a little idea of maybe doing hackathons, even as like buddies within the team, it also between LSs, where we can connect LSs. I think that is very important because when you have two or multiple member associations collaborating, you can see that projects sometimes, or even the collaborations between the member associations can really increase. And this is how we can increase the engagement overall with members.
And from BPI candidate, thank you for your question. I actually get a lot of thoughts in the buddy project. I participated in all rounds. It made me contacts with a lot of BPA, so I'm really grateful for it and I can keep it. What I noticed is that through the end of the mandate, so maybe in the last rounds, people start to lose a bit of interest and they don't contact their buddies. So I would implement a way of a certain LS, for example, if a certain LS only would like to have one body that's coordinated. Okay? But at the same time, if someone likes to network a bit more and connect a bit more, they would be able to have maybe 4 or 5 different bodies. I would survey, of course, the LSs and the team to see if they would agree with these changes. Through the buddy project itself, so the activities, what would make it more fun is like having riddles or little games that will really incentivize the pair to work together and then come back to me with an answer. And by that answer, I will be pressuring them. Did you talk to your buddies? But I didn't know that they were involved. Thank you. Do we have any other questions? I don't know.
So And structure your online LS meetings to adapt to either new inexperienced OS and ensuring that all the member associations feel done regardless their previous knowledge products. So thank you.
Additional PPI, thank you for your question. I think this comes back a bit to the statement I did before. So when there's a new LS, I've heard that some of you probably got in your first online LS meeting. So in the first new LS training, I will also try to figure out their knowledge from these meetings, try to explain how the meetings work, their importance, and of course, always important to support them. So from the first training until the first online class meeting, I will always be available to questions, to clarify any points. I will also be free to schedule a short meeting if they have some questions about it. And always make them feel heard and trust them to get all of it.
Probably a candidate. I have noticed this when I was reading Gabrisha's reports as well. Possibly when I spoke to Gabrisha, that some of the good options is trying to get maybe more regular meetings. So similar to how I do APR meetings, maybe trying to do more often, but also see that how these meetings can be worthwhile because OLSM meetings can be there for voting on things, but as you said, member associations have handovers at different times. So ensuring that they are trained before these meetings and that they have all the information that they needed to start with. But I think another really good possibility is to try to have more hangout style sessions. So yeah, I think that would be very useful. Also, live hangout sessions with APRs are really important because when you put people together, it's a different experience than the live.
Thank you. So we have your first policy is evolution. In-house celebration. Well, this is related to the previous question, but how would you measure the success of online LS meetings?
You're very good. Thank you for that question. How I would see is very similar to how team meetings work. Is that at the end of the OLSM, I will just have like a very quick feedback session. Engaging platforms like Mentimeter, I think, are very useful and fun for people to answer without having the pressure of doing a survey. Because as we see with some like advocacy or policy surveys, they can be quite long. So trying and seeing using platforms that are very like easy to navigate and very quick, even like things like in the groups like the WhatsApp, you can do quick polls and seeing how we can change these to help more. And also always try and have sort of like a training aspect to the adolescents or a bonding activity, as well as going through all the different motions and developing.
Rachel, again, thank you for your question. Well, it has been common practice in this mandate to have a Mentimeter in the end of the team meetings. I think it's a great opportunity for people to express their opinion and at the same time not be afraid to express it. I would also love to implement some secret suggestion box, so set up a platform maybe where throughout the whole mandate and not just after the online meetings, unless it's to suggest some new activities could be the feedback in previous activities and not just after the meetings. It would also be beneficial to have the coordinators because we feel like from the users on the ELS survey, some classes feel not close to coordinators, so I think it would be really useful to also have coordinators in the online LS meeting corporately to present the projects, to let more like this how the local students communicate on. And then coordinators can really get the feedback directly from the LS. Thank you. Do we have any further KVs and developments?
Can you give an example of a situation in your current mandate in which an alleged APR or committee needed your help and what you did to resolve their issue? Thank you.
And as well, VPI Henry, thank you for your question. Having now worked with my fifth RC, so fifth total teams from all over Europe, there have been a lot of problems, there have been a lot of misunderstandings, and I had to put myself out there, make myself available to those teams. I've always been able to connect with them, to make them feel heard. So if there's a problem, I listen to them and then try to solve it. There have been misunderstandings and problems during the events. But plan but having my questions with the worries and then figure out the solution.
Thank you. From the way that how we approach this is that a lot of the times we collect all this feedback through the surveys and similar, and we identify issues, but we don't show what we have actually done. So similar to actually my workplace, what they do and that works very effectively is collect feedback, but then doing something that they call "you said we did." So showing what we actually have changed and knowing that the issue has been resolved for the person that has raised it, I think is very important. And I think just trying and talk about it individually to see what happened and how we can improve is very important as well. But yeah, thank you for that question. Um,
We have an important part of Romania. Other parts of Romania. You already kind of addressed its circumstances, but I wanted to be more specific. How would you envision your LS chicken and what information would you actually want to collect technically?
With the LS check-ins, what I have noticed is that a lot of times that the check-ins are very like sort of like a checklist or tick box exercise. But what I would encourage more is the discussion. So and seeing what the member association and the LS is interested in, because the LS is the person that knows what their member association needs, and try and explain those projects itself. Myself, I have explained projects before quite a few times, so I have a bit of knowledge about everything. So having that knowledge, but also knowing where to direct people and equipping them from the start, but then sort of like letting them see how much engagement and involvement they can do, but also like trying to keep like informal and trying to kind of bond with the LS itself as VPA because it's really important to be that person and that bridge between the LSs and the rest of the team.
And now maybe I can, thank you for your question. I would envision my check-ins as an informal moment in an informal space for LS to share their worries, their needs, and what worries them the most about their new role. I would also try to not make it as a task in a timetable, but as something that they can request whenever they need. If one LS needs one check-in and if another LS needs five, I will try to do five. I will try to be more approachable and make them with all the lessons you heard and seen. And those check-ins could be a quick call, 10 minutes, so it wouldn't add to the workload. It was just, it would be my way to make them feel more connected to the activity. Can you have a one by Turkey?
Thank you. I would like to ask, can you both of you give us an actual example from your mandates that you have to multitask different projects at the same time and successfully deliver them that we can be considered for the position that you both are candidates? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. I think I can give the present events example. I am here and since I was responsible for that allocation, I was responsible to allow RC for 7 months now to organize this event. Sometimes the workload is really big. Having worked so closely with the BTI with the team members, I am aware of the workload, I am aware of the struggles and the challenges, and I think I'm well prepared for the position as I've been working so closely. Can you repeat the question?
Can you give us an actual example from your mandate that you have to multitask different projects at the same time and successfully deliver that we can now recall for the positions of your example?
I will be very candid. An example when this happens on task at the same time for me was when I had both APR meetings and the AAG. Those are both big projects, so managing a platform and doing the projects at the same time is where you can give an example for multitasking. I think it's important to try and give both equally and try not to overstretch yourself, but also know what is the current task at hand and what needs to be done now and what can be done later. I think that is a very important skill. And I think previous year, as I learned, there's been a lot of different projects at the same time. So knowing what the interests are and where the current engagement is highest is also where I will put the most. Okay.
I'm going to like ABC, seconded by Slovenia. I am looking for discussion online entry. I will be the questions. I will support discussion online entry. We will proceed into voting online entry with our voting cards. All vote in favor. You read the group up high, see none. Voters. Presenters. And nine is accepted. For the candidates to please leave the room as scrutineer. Oh, sorry. You both will have to be your closing speeches. Now, EPI candidate, we talked a lot about internal affairs. But internal affairs is about familiarity. Anyone who knows me knows that I with my heart are not just interested in the team reports and outcomes, but interested in how teammates are doing, what motivates them, and how we can make the best of our measures. My time at the Vice Coordinator was a roller coaster of logistics, spreadsheets, and stress, but my favorite part was the shared laughter after a long day and the realization that we are a part of something much bigger than ourselves. I did not know about empathy as much as efficiency. I want to be the next Vice President of Internal Affairs, for you to be comfortable facing me when things get tough, and when the first person you want to celebrate with when things go right. I'm here to give focus to this negotiation, and I hope you trust to do so. A year ago, you placed your trust in me to lead our events. I have worked tirelessly to earn that confidence and deliver on my promises. Today, I ask you to trust me one more time, not just based on my ideas and vision, but on my proven commitment to this association. Thank you. And the candidate, thank you for your time, questions, and attention throughout this process. I sincerely appreciate my counselor, my secretary, and my member association for the trust and support, as well as the ladies and secretaries and member associations who continuously contribute to making EPSA what it is today. A special thank you to the current EPSA team, and especially the European Affairs Department, for the collaboration, support, and shared work throughout this mandate. I'm also very grateful to my predecessors in the advocacy platform and in the current internal affairs, whose hard work have laid the foundation we can continue to build on. Regardless of the outcome, I am proud to have contributed to EPSA and to stand here today and have an opportunity to be involved. If elected, I am ready to take the responsibility forward with structure, commitment, and clear vision for strengthening our internal effort. Yours, EPSA. Thank you. Now I will ask the candidates to leave the room. We will proceed with the closed discussion. So all the electronic card, you want me to leave the microphone. And I would like the elected candidates to be on the table and clean. Well, thank you everyone for your show. I promise that I get that it's good and it was so good in my mandate, so I will do the same. And my vision. I will be happy. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we have a so Washington still Sam one here president technical transmission thinking and can and we will continue to discuss the agenda, which is the simple vice president of public relations. And candidates come join us in the office. Yeah, so we have our candidates who are here and it's joining online. We will start with our opening speech first. So well, we'll do his 2 minute speech first, and then we will go to the proposers. Come on, again,
Whether it's technology, yes. And when I was in fourth year going to the Poland, like for the position of like regulation. I remember my first time I saw was during the 2013 is my year with the people in Poland. I had like many amazing people that invited me to connect and gave me a gift to the world. Then I joined EPSA Science and Technology. When I worked closely with the other department, learned all the rules and regulations like how to use corporate identity as a socials. Later, I applied for the role of life secretary. When I learned more from the restrictions, I was able to represent the principal in front of the PA. I was also a publications officer for the Sixth Annual Congress. I was responsible for the social media, Instagram, TV, for period. I worked on the local level, international team, taking care of students, exchange and class. So I managed to reach the individual local matter. I know how to work with that stuff in the local perspective and how to work with that stuff in the national. A little bit of my knowledge and experience with EPSA. During my Monday, I will professional creative basic promotional materials, collaborate closely with business coordinators and companies, create promotional content, share ideas about the promotion on Instagram and TikTok, social media, presenter, and we're looking out create a promotion strategy in US on a daily basis. And we'll help in the community strategy, that will be a recommended to create what is on a daily basis. I will refine goals for audience and help reach our members. I will focus on LinkedIn, also define an audience with different there, and it's different modules to achieve regular partner. I also want to develop a website. I will learn more about managing the WordPress to support active coordination. I will also help with promoting the newsletters and monthly updates to share our activities with member association. I also have been in pieces of this trainer for 2 years. I will share my knowledge of communication skills, team and time management, how to increase multiple private meetings, and one-on-one. I will do workshops about how to use Volvo for the whole team. Develop a platform. I will develop trainings about motivation and time management for the care department to ensure continuous improvement. Thank you for listening to me. Hope you could get to know me.
and then we will see the biggest speech by the proposal of the Serbian. You will have a minute to do your speech.
Welcome to Serbia, dear elected committees, EPSA team, alumni, and observers. It is our pleasure to speak before you today as Jakub's proposers. Namsar Serbia is very proud to support his candidacy for the executive position of EPPR. We truly believe in Kuba's competences, knowledge, and motivation for this role. His extensive experience as LS, designs and committee member, and PR officer for the 46th Annual Congress is equipped him with technical skills, a strategic mindset, and most importantly, the EPSA spirit. Beyond that, Kuba brings creativity and genuine desire to leave a visible mark and impact on individuals, making him a perfect candidate for this position. He is a tenacious person with a clear vision and goals and the drive to achieve them. We believe that all of you will recognize his potential, sincerity, and quality just as Nafsa did from the very first moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Then I will ask the further speech from the Czech Republic.
Dear General Assembly, on behalf of EPSA, I have the chance to support Jakub's candidacy for Vice President of Public Relations. As a seconder, we looked closely at his journey and got to see that so far he hasn't been dedicated only on the national, also international, and that he definitely doesn't want to give up on us. From preparing content, replying strategies, all the way to posting and making an impact, he seems to understand what the publishing entails. His ability to work on soft skills and spread his knowledge among others make him someone who's ready to care of his own department. We believe that Jakob's energy and experience will be suitable for EPSA's next department. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I will ask Lisa to do our opening speech. I will just have to check the sound. So, Lisa, can you speak? For the past 30 years, I've been visiting with the delegations of care. There's no only person who goes at once and makes it because they don't even enjoy making most of us make crimes like crimes for the social media. When we were good at it, we are even a challenging situation. And we quite really inside trying to crazy from different fields. Maybe service we our workers service only like that. The kind get and I partner that trauma can really like the way that you like it's not that it's patient terms like the groups which is also being displayed where they're you know comfortable like to share and you and at the same time, I believe it's important to serve contribute both for the business, which is like perfect or like like it feels like we might be here like completely like we learn to see and really from location like in the life and the paper. For example, like this, but kind of operating and here, and the other using the game to do their 1 minute speech.
EPSA in Turkey. Dear General Assembly, dear Vice Secretaries, on behalf of EPSA in Turkey, it is an honor to nominate Mr. Ravi for the Vice President of Public Relations. Having worked with her throughout our mandate, we have witnessed her transition into a high-level PR strategist defined by her precision and constant availability. The 8.8% growth in Instagram is today will not exist. It was the result of a strategy that ensures every project receives the visibility it deserves exactly on schedule. Melissa's vision transcends simple visibility. She views PR as a bridge to student empowerment, ensuring every pharmacy student in Europe can access EPSA's opportunities. By committing herself exclusively to EPSA, she offers the undivided focus needed to modernize EPSA's corporate identity and mentor her team without distraction. We have full confidence that Melissa's organized mindset will provide the professional stability this department needs. You thankful so much, Melissa, for the detail.
Thank you. And I will use the same the Portugal speech. We have 1 minute. That's all.
Chico, your last, your lead, your team. It's a pleasure for me to stand here second Lisa for the position of me. I really know I haven't had the opportunity to meet Lisa personally. I know her work communications clearly speaks for themselves. The social media coordinator, she has been at her core of business communication, ensuring that the visibility of the campaigns and events across all platforms. Her role goes far beyond posting content. Melissa works closely with all the departments, aligning ongoing projects, preparing materials for designs, and ensuring that the communication is both cohesive and impactful. At the same time, she actively engages with its members and the wider public, building a strong connection through her responsiveness and approachability. What truly stands out to me is her comprehensive understanding of the organization through her whole. She has connected with team members like the secretaries and member associations, giving them unique and valuable perspective. Combined with her innovative ideas and vision, I strongly believe in Melissa as everything it takes to both ensure continuity and elevate EPSA's present than further. For these reasons, I encourage you all to support Melissa and place your trust in her. Thank you.
Thank you. Then, I move on more questions from the candidates. Do we have any question for the team? Bishop Slovenia?
Ila, which is Slovenia. So in the PR department, what task or project do you think requires more support, especially from the VP Thank you.
Thank you. Kuba, you will go first. You have 9 minutes to answer the question.
Well, PR lead. I believe that making sure that the PR management is done from the start of the Monday and that the collaboration with the other departments is clear. I think this would be the first step to enhancing the Instagram reach and to make sure that every project is um, promoted accordingly, but and not like workload and like motivated. So I think starting with that and then going with like meetings and doing stuff. Everyone is included and we'll develop the creators to do that.
Thank you. Minister, you will take the question. Just for you, just. In November. Strength of things like that. She's not already. No, especially with the videos that they're confidentiality for people and group like technical for communication code and deal with moving that and beliefs that we like for example like but they're more in this and finance so they didn't say the same because the perceived elements. Check the perspective. From the initial thank you for your application. So in the Q&A metrics, there were like mentioned like link affiliation demonstrations or whatever. Like 3 months into your mandate, data shows that there's not a lot of engagement is definitely the PR strategy. How would you want? Please speak of his daughter, somebody was mentioned during online, she needs to hear. Question in the Q&A metrics, there were mentioned like linked registrations. What if 3 months into your mandate, the data shows that there's not a lot of engagement, despite the PR strategy perfectly? How would you move on from that? So, answer first. So, just Like just sorry. Um, you can go now. You are muted. For you, I can restart. Here and cool. Mhm.
They part of the mandate set a clear goals for the interest is throughout like the table that was the question and see how we're doing the strategy. And if not, it's like too difficult with that, I would provide support. As I mentioned in my speech, I was associate chair of the SOC version for to do trainings. I do the trainings then to do that like for the motivation, to enhance the motivation, to enhance the goal settings and how can we set the project and the goals.
Thank you. And then I say 0.5 Slovenia. Hannah, what do you want?
I want to know if the appointment was elected today, what do you think they would do continue and what?
Could I have 1 minute to answer the question?
Looking at it forward, so was critical access to different numbers, so this role. But I believe that I got a further view of all. So first of all, as summation and what we do and what it represent as a information and all publications and all the direction that SS and do. Also, I think that I can say that they all have some find this are good that I can manage social media. I used to be the Instagram page for the annual congregation for the team. So,
Thank you. And wait a second. Clarification by Minister. Okay, you can see. Yes, so you can questions or it's in the chat, email types it in the chat, maybe you can. Yeah. You have 1 minute to message your question. This is their so like I think I'm seeing information. the separation. So if another team member came to you, wanting to do an Instagram or TikTok or video or real project, and without really question like to fall closer to you and actually give it something like many sense really like to be something another team member came to you wanting to do an Instagram reel without any prior recording editing experience. Which advice would you give to him or her to help him? So, Lisa, you will answer the question first this time. You will answer the question first this time, Lisa. This is the second. So you're able to hear the
She was with things like we could use handles to catch other audio quality and can do the camera to better visual quality. So I would go in a good direction and also make a chat about the project is something that is important. So we will work on that. It's easy to do this properly. So he a lot of people make a lot of basis.
So we have the point values into care.
First of all, thank you for your applications. Can you give us an example about a problem that has influenced related with the PR department? It can be both in EPSA or your own association. How did how did it got resolved and what were the initiatives that we have taken? Thank you.
So can you see it as well?
Well, um, the problem with the other thing that was during my markers and for the promotion because we had to promotion officers and we were thinking how we could like because I created like I do the designs. I have experience doing designs on the things of programmer, so I do not want that. I don't want to be a cycle for anything, you know, and sure them. So we divided the work like that, and the other peer officers were other peer officer were more responsible for like the administrative tasks of the so getting the focus and you talking with the RC about like recording some videos and then later I can use and edit. So at first, for the first like 2 or 3 months, it was like actually working out how they work together. But I think at the end, the promotion of the promotion was went really well. That was the problem. So we come together.
Thank you. And we will continue with Melissa. Okay. Okay. Information. One.
Set an PR.
We will start with Melissa. So, yeah. Direct Melissa.
To review because we don't really realize that the whole emotions and the effect negatively. Maybe on example GOP and the local responsible for designs of after and we would want very numbers more thinking of the shift of the county, how can I provide the support, like guide them to for the future projects, how can we make the deadline for the award and
Thank you. And then we have you have like neutral.
From Portugal, as a living PR, how you went about the need for viral content, and the necessity of maintaining a professional and serious corporate identity to, when representing themselves to children. Thank you.
Yeah, I will share designs and what we put out and the side as pretty consistent and like with the as an image there's a spirit what we represent. Then there of course the designs that are shared with the professionals are more on the professional side. They are done very carefully um, because they are the people that listen to us money. So they need to be kind of like really think what we put out. So that would be my strategy for that. Also, we need to use specific functional language, but so like they can understand and they can just see it at the understand how to do this. Also, become later the professionals.
Thank you. You are continuing with EPSA. 31 minutes.
So I'm very clarification of the questions sent for the Congress because we felt like one of you didn't really answer the question. So sometimes the resources like people or time are limited. If you had to prioritize only two PR initiatives for your mandate, what would they be and what would you deliberately choose not to focus on and why? So it's specific.
Second, um,
Will show what it says. Example. And the second educated, I would go to collaboration work on the negotiations with them show the bridge and the connection between the EPSA and the member associations, show that we also listen to them and that we are always like here for them to promote their initiatives and their everything that is.
Thank you. We will continue with 8.5 and advance. Creating trust, the plan development is a computer and what do you think makes you a computer? Come on, everyone.
Yeah. So, when you're studying tools, I can either be very pure analytical mind that, when there's a methodology that we have involved or do a plan or do a plan because that we can do this style. I think also when it comes to like concrete decisions and be like uh, very sensitive, which I can also show and my website and my be very concrete about what I do. And I was also like be very kind of like a sport. I mean, you can see that my games and my commitments are very also good for what they are doing. I'm sure you support them, you move them, and continue to support them during them. So I would say that is like the better career because they can adjust to different situations. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, everyone listen. Please, you had a PPR or how big department and subcommittees to overlook. Can you give us some ideas how you would connect them, integrate them, and create a better motivation? Your probably question. And
Quickly, developing badly, go develop a trade, team member because moving on of the coordinators would have their strategies and I show the so psychology is a team within a team, you know, it's coordinators also need to have like applications in different moments for help alcohol management. And also make sure that we are calling each other and making meetings regularly with every other, everyone of the neighbors, also with the whole the department. And also start the one-on-ones to check everything is going okay, everything is going smoothly, and also have chats or like Telegram and always be available via Telegram, via any other communication platform to ask questions and sort of learn not really engage, just ask me for help anything they want to.
Thank you. Then we will continue with question. Teresa out of Austria. First of all, thank you for your applications. It seems to be absolutely unfair that I really capabilities online for the media. However, other apps such as what we represent asking the entrepreneur to stay holders and likes is not something that would be visible. Are you planning to improve that? Which are
Maybe you're ready. So yeah, it represents as long as it's can do about something, but always in seat and all that stakeholder and you know the people that they're grateful about on the ways or last time and the pictures and this language how we how like what was the demand and how we promote. I would do promotion and the Instagram personal page where like you actively doing always like welcome and every member to see them. And I would also like to like come off the games as we'll with the president and the other member states say that if they're going on the BMS, always see pictures and you know so we can spoil it and have stories. But then it's giving you
during my medicine?
sorry, like do this. But yeah, you can also like all the you're overwhelming. I can say that from the experience, like before the GA here and the first and doing all the promotions, trying for the GA, I kind of actually thought so. I will also share my knowledge on how I manage having worked with this for 8 years, so taking them from the end results for the better of the whole year.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? Would you like to second by next one? There's no library. What's the purpose? Special from my country. All those in favor? Once you raise your cards up at the same time. Only with 29 more for the item is carried. We will proceed with the closing speeches now. Kuba, you have 1 minute to your closing.
About the thanks all the persons and also for getting know me a little better. And understand my relationship like for the PPR position. I have been on as well. Able to mental point science, supported with partner, the leader of the development and also the part of the EPSA team. We are confident only for sharing the public. We feel highly confident and responsible and the role as the PPR.
Thank you. And Lisa, take 1 5 minutes now. You have 1 minute to do your presentation. So, your complete meeting slide two. Sorry, I'm looking at you. So, is that I have this independent to read the you have a student number. Results. Um, with 17 votes for A, 11 for B, 1 against, 0 abstentions, 70% General Assembly elects A. Jakub Kowalowski as ex Vice President of Public Relations 2026-2027. But going on the table. Guys, we want to make it good. You will have a vote.
You are fine. That's it's all hard. You need to have your confidence. For it. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, um, Inside your presidium role, we'll take it out from now. We will take a area, produce a question, switch the purpose, you can get a check of it, the formula, the limit, lentils, you get the journey, you get the treatment, or family, targeting, when is the power, and is the ground, can use the power, was on tolerant, and you take a particular benefit from the see the vacation of knowledge, just because I had to take it on. Plus, for Romania, such a service, we did not completely the vacation of Bolivia, we get like Slovakia, the ship is Slovenia, that is Spain, and you send it. Now I'm going to end the meeting order. So we have a 2 minutes break. We will be back at 12.